Welcome in, everyone. Thrift Barrett, you're here. Georgia, Alabama Sports Live Show in the Colin Scroggins Studios, CNAW2news.com. That's where you get all your information on news and weather. And trust me, there has been a ton of news, and I don't think anyone, unless you're living under a rock, is hiding from the fact that there's been a lot of crime, a lot of things that's happening around Columbus and the Chattahoochee Valley area. We're going to bring on the man himself, Colin Scroggins, to talk about how it's been so far. We know we have him on weekly, not weekly, but monthly, and look forward to catching up with him. I also have on Mike Frost, and we're going to be talking high school football, Muscogee County School District schools. We're going to talk all of them, upcoming schedule, obviously what region they play in, and who are some of the teams that we think could make maybe a deep playoff run. And then finally, Richard was able to catch up with Kevin Eckelberry from BTV, and he'll talk all things LaGrange, from Troup County High School, Callaway, and LaGrange High School. Kevin's been a dear friend of ours, and we look forward as we expand in Georgia, Alabama Sports Live. Obviously, that LaGrange territory is where we want to go, and BTV could be a partner of ours. And looking forward to hearing Kevin's story, why he does what he does, and talking about LaGrange sports up there later on here on the Georgia, Alabama Sports Live Show. We're presented by Coca-Cola, Houston Clinic, Mike Costello Law Firm, and Glenn Smith Chevrolet GMC. Man, busy week. Last time we saw each other 2 days ago, we caught up with 7-on-7 at Smith Station. By the way, congratulations to Blair Harrison and the Smith Station Panthers, able to win the 7-on-7 tournament. They were able to take down Lochapoka in that. A lot of fun. That game actually went down to the wire. Go rewatch it right now. We had some pretty cool calls. Me and Mike Frost had a ton of fun. 6 teams played in it. Lochapoka, Harris County, Columbus, Shaw, Spencer, and Smith Station. Smith Station beat Lochapoka. Then we went from there to Chatco, a school that we may be getting very intimate with here in the next couple of months, and maybe they can be a part of Georgia, Alabama Sports Live. So we were there for a play date for basketball. We saw Calvary and Chatco play, and then we saw Shaw and Turner County play. So that was a lot of fun. Left that, and then guess where we had? Yep, you're right. We went to Poor Decisions, and we hung out with the Columbus Lions Coaches Show, because this Saturday, it's the final home game of the season. If they win, they're in the championship July 11th. They're almost sold out. This is going to be a record-setting game. It's going to be the most packed event for a Columbus event. And I'm not talking about concert or anything else. I'm talking about a Columbus-based sports team. I don't think we're ever going to see numbers like this for a long time, and maybe it continues for next year. But I see big things happening for sure this Saturday. Pastor Troy, Marco Rich, cannot wait to be in attendance for that. And Lions trying to stay undefeated. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back from break, Colin Scroggins joins us here on the Georgia, Alabama Sports Live Show.
A strong workout needs a strong recovery. And with your Planet Fitness Black Card, you get access to all new amenities like the Red Light Sauna and Polar Dry Plunge, both designed to reduce muscle soreness and relieve tension. Reset, restore, and recover your muscles so you can do it all again tomorrow.
Come check it out.
Join Planet Fitness today for just $1 down, $24.99 a month to access all new recovery amenities and keep your momentum going.
Sign up today. Deal ends July 8th.
To get your case started, do yourself a favor and visit us at MikeCostelloLawFirm.com. 24/7, nights and weekends, 365 days a year, and we only collect if you get paid.
Life's a cruise, that's the move.
To get your case started, do yourself a favor and visit us at MikeCostelloLawFirm.com. 24/7, nights and weekends, 365 days a year, and we only collect if you get paid.
He's here. That's the man, and surprised that he has time to even come hang out with us because the dude lives on the road all the time. It's Colin Scroggins in his own studios. How are you, man?
I'm surviving.
It's one day at a time. It's been a very hot last couple of weeks now with the rain coming out, but talk about how the summer's been for you so far. It just seems like there's a lot happening between the election, crime going up here in the last couple of days. I mean, there's no shortage of stuff to be talked about with news in our area.
So, personally, summer's been great. I've been hanging out with family and friends. Hanging out with my 8-month-old little puppy, our sweet little honey.
Honey.
She's a mess, but she keeps me busy when Columbus is not keeping me busy.
Right.
But it has been one thing after another. I counted today. I've responded to 13 scenes since Monday.
Jeez.
It's Thursday, mind you.
And we haven't hit the weekend.
We haven't even hit the weekend, and the
July 4th is next week.
Yeah, and the full moon is June 29th. So
That's Monday.
yeah,
All right.
it's great. It's so much great.
All right. I do want to talk to you though. We're going to stay away from the politics, obviously, everything that transpired there. Glad people went out and voted.
Yes,
And we can
probably
put it
got
behind
everybody's-
us.
Yep.
But right now with the crime and everything that has been going down as of recently, I feel like there needs to be some positives that's going on in the city. We want to try to do that, but like what's been going on with you, man? I know it seems like you're going from one stop to the next, and that's never ideal. And I know it doesn't make you happy, but
No.
you want to get the information out there in the public.
'Cause people
need
put
to
trust
be
in
safe,
us.
no doubt.
So Monday morning, we unfortunately had a 17-year-old who was found deceased in a car from a shooting off of Delta Street at 31st Avenue, followed by a house fire in Fort Mitchell. Thankfully, the homeowner got out in time, but the cats and one dog perished in the fire. Two other dogs were able to be rescued, thankfully.
Right.
Then Tuesday, we had mass chaos break out with a officer-involved incident. We had a homicide at the Dollar General involving a young woman whose family, sweet, precious family, have been grieving her loss. Her employees, her Dollar General world, really, the corporation. I just talked to the corporation earlier for a statement, and it seems like from the top down, everyone is affected by this loss. I spoke with a corporal at the Columbus Police Department who knew the victim very well. Alexis is her first name. And this officer was talking about how she had kind of began her relationship with Miss Alexis, working domestic calls in the area, working different calls. They formed a bond, and then Alexis started helping the homeless community and paying for donations to be sent to the homeless community. So it just goes to show the kind of person she was. And I think that's the part of the story that we need to focus on the most right now. We have a grieving family. Some of the family is out of town. There are just no words to describe the heartbreak that family's dealing with, the heartbreak we're dealing with. It's come to a point where I'm kind of holding back tears doing my job because I'm seeing death after death, shots fired after shots fired, people's homes damaged, people's cars towed away because they got shot into. This week has obviously been a very tragic week. We've also had 3 shootings that happened this morning or last night into this morning. And they, as of right now, are still alive, but some of them are in critical condition. But it's just a lot of prayers are needed for not only first responders, dispatchers, nurses, and doctors who are saving these lives, trying to save these lives. The media people, we obviously, everyone thinks, we're in competition with other people, but everyone in the media world, from all the other local news outlets, including myself, we all need prayers as well. We are in a tough spot covering these hardships, and there are just no words to describe the stuff we're seeing on the front lines. And a lot of people are talking about Chief Mathis' statement, and that is a large group discussion, but we need to focus on Miss Alexis, who was taken way too soon.
I'm glad you said that. That was very well said, Colin. And I do want to say, I know that the video it's going viral, and we're not going to spend time talking about the semantics of the video. A lot of other people have done that, and I'm all about conversation. But in the moment, You needed to get information out there. But how tough is it for you, Colin? Because when you get this type of information, you got to make sure that the family is fully aware. Because the last thing you would want, or anyone else would want, is a family member to find out via social media.
Yep.
That's never ideal. So talk about those processes, because I don't think people understand. This is not Colin, I'm putting out clickbait, I'm trying to get followers from this. I am trying to update the world, have an understanding what's happening within our community. People need to be safe right now, instead of the other mindset they can have. So the floor is yours, man, on how that process go and how you able to disseminate that information that you get.
And I don't want to get too deep on this, but it does need to be explained. When my dad passed away in 2021, I was the one who found him. I immediately called 911, and within 15 minutes, my mom wasn't even home yet. Within 15 minutes, people knew. Same goes for other situations. You know, we've had numerous losses with public officials in our area. Same thing kind of happened. They passed away, and within 10 to 15 minutes after it happened, it was out. I can't imagine being on the other side of that, because I mean, I obviously had my own share of that. Obviously, it wasn't a public ordeal as homicides are. We are told that the victim in this Dollar General homicide, some of her family lived in Colorado. I believe her sons lived in Colorado, and they had to get in contact with them before her name and picture was out there. We were already getting hate because we posted the K9 first and everything like that. But we don't want someone's loved one out of state to find out on social media that their loved one had passed. That's the last thing. Our job is to inform, but it's also our job to protect people's privacy. We can't always do that all the time, because sometimes the coroner needs the media's help to get the next of kin located. Right. But it's not an easy job. We have great coroner's office officials around here. As soon as they notify the next of kin or notify the whole entire family, their name is released in a respectful manner. Sometimes things slip up on accident, but we have a true, dedicated, awesome team with all the coroner's office in Lee, Russell, Chambers, Troop, Muskogee, and the surrounding areas.
I appreciate you saying that, man.
Absolutely.
And again, this is your cry, because we're gonna move on. We're gonna talk a little some positive
stuff.
stuff.
Absolutely.
But this is your cry for people in the community about being safe, being vigilant, and understanding your surroundings. But anything can happen in this world. It's crazy. You never know. But we want to make sure people are aware of what's happening within the community.
Keep your head on a swivel at all times, especially in situations you feel unsafe. Watch your surroundings. If you feel unsafe, you probably need to leave the area. Right. If you feel like there's a threat, you need to call police. See something, say something. I know everyone doesn't like that motto, or it's just, people have their own feelings toward it. But it's true. If you see something, you need to call law enforcement. I've told you, I've had people call me before saying, hey, a house is on fire. I haven't called 911 yet. You need to call 911 before you call anybody, and then you can call me. Right. Because you need emergency responders there before anybody. I can't do my job without emergency responders being there. Right. So watch your surroundings always. No matter where you are. Overall, we live in a safe world, but there are times where we're not in a safe world, and we have to take precautions to do that. The one thing I do want to urge is to pray for everyone involved over the past couple of days, and if anyone knows anything regarding any of these shootings, any of these incidences that have broken out, and just we've had shootings at Subways, we have shooting at McDonald's, we've had shootings at Dollar Generals, we have shootings at parks, shootings in residential areas.
Near TV stations.
If you know anything, you need to call Violent Crimes Unit, you need to call the Patrol Division, you need to call 911 ASAP. Because there are people out there who are choosing a bad route, who are affecting not only their life, but all the victims' lives, all the public safety lives, and everyone else out there.
Positive stuff that's going on. I know we got some events. See Mandy's all over the place. So
update
us on Mandy and everything else going on.
Mandy is busy. We're actually doing a dinner Friday with a bunch of local content creators at a new restaurant that's opening up. She is busy. She actually just, this is going to be her second official class at Rumble that she's teaching tomorrow.
Okay.
So if you want to join Rumble Boxing, head on over to Rumble Boxing and punch a bag or two, lift some weights. I've lost some weight because of it, so awesome. I can't lie about that. I feel much better, and they're like a family over there. They're all welcoming you in. They have your names written on the lockers and positive messages. So it's something good to see after a long week such as this. But Mandy is busy. She's got her boys and got obviously they're heading off to college. She's got the little one, Nico. He was a Spurs fan. I was going the Knicks route.
Okay.
Because I was loving the TikTok edits that were. I have no basketball experience whatsoever, but the TikToks were cool, so I was going with the Knicks. But so we were having a little competition, but she's busy, just as busy as we all are. We have running nonstop, and
Always.
we have great team out there that are helping us out.
And we appreciate everyone that's been involved as we continue to get information out there. Colin, obviously, is everywhere all the time, but we got to have team like Jay Shields and Daryl. These guys have been instrumental in the growth of CNAW and stuff. So I want you to shout out the team, man, before we get you out of here.
Absolutely. And even like Tuesday really showed a huge group effort. We had the homicide and officer-involved shooting incident all happen kind of at the same time. I was on the scene of the homicide when shots rang out at the officer-involved incident, and I can still hear the gunshots now. But Mandy immediately jumped in the car with her mom. Her mom was in town, and they headed straight over to Victory Drive to help us work multiple scenes. Daryl was helping us out with other incidences, and Jay was helping us out trying to get different maps set up and everything. So it is a true group effort, and this all wouldn't be possible without our sponsors. You have yours, we got ours, and we're sharing them, and it's important to have sponsors and great people. Glenn Smith, we bring it up all the time.
We love 'em.
They believed in us from the very get-go.
Yep.
And just truly thankful for all they've done for us.
And where can they find you on social media? And obviously the big thing, which is the website, man.
So they can find us or they can find me on Facebook, Colin Scroggins, CNAW. They can also find me on Twitter, CNAW_Colin.
Oh. That's Colin.
So there you go, everybody.
You just talked about
There's the blooper. So roll the clip. So anyway, I knew that was going to happen. They can find me on X at CNAW_Colin. They can also find me on Instagram and TikTok with same username, and our website at cnawtnews.com. You can find all those details about the Crawford Church fire, all the homicide incidences, shootings, and everything else happening across the Chattahoochee Valley. And you can go find Mandy Vega at her Mandy Vega account, and head over to Home and Lifestyle Now for all the positive, good news events that we're trying to share on our page.
His name is Colin Scroggins. You love his beautiful smile. So do I. And he's a big, bright spot in the community. Thank you so much, brother. Love you. And we do what we do, man. CNAW2 News, Sports, Georgia, Alabama Sports Live, Colin with news. And then hopefully we got and weather, but big things may be coming down the pike. And then obviously Mandy Vega with everything that's happened around the city positively on Home and Lifestyle. Now we'll take a break. When we come back, we got more here on the Georgia, Alabama Sports Live Show.
Hey everybody, hot summer prices have dropped at Glenn Smith Chevrolet in Opelika. Drive home today in a brand new Chevy Silverado with savings up to $15,000 off MSRP. Or get 0% financing for 60 months. Need more power? New Silverado 2500 HD with savings up to $12,000 off MSRP. Or get 4.9% financing for 60 months. Glenn Smith Chevrolet in Opelika. Get ready to smile.
To get your case started, do yourself a favor and visit us at MikeCostelloLawFirm.com. 24/7, nights and weekends, 365 days a year, and we only collect if you get paid.
Life's a cruise, that's the move.
Hey Hey everybody, hot summer prices have dropped at Glenn Smith GMC in Opelika. Drive home today in a brand new GMC Sierra 1500 with savings up to $15,750 off MSRP. Or get 0% financing for 60 months. Need more power? New GMC Sierra 2500 HD with savings up to $10,000 off MSRP. Or get 4.9% financing for 60 months. Glenn Smith GMC in Opelika. Get ready to smile.
Hello, everybody. This is DJ Jones with the Sports Vision's morning show for the best in local, regional, and national sports news. Weekdays from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m.
You can find the Sports Vision's morning show on Facebook, YouTube. Also, you can listen to us on Apple and Spotify by typing in the Sports Vision's morning show, and download the Sports Vision's radio app right now in your app store today.
Sports Vision 92.1. We are your hometown sports guys.
At Jack Houston Memorial Hospital, our focus is you. Even though we performed more than 1,300 joint replacements last year, we treat you like you are our only patient. Your surgeon explains your joint replacement, so nothing is a surprise. Our team knows your treatment plan, and we work together to get you back on your feet again. That's why our hospital is recognized year after year as a leader in patient satisfaction and quality of care. Jack Houston Memorial Hospital. Excellence, always.
A strong workout needs a strong recovery. And with your Planet Fitness Black Card, you get access to all new amenities like the Red Light Sauna and Polar Dry Plunge, both designed to reduce muscle soreness and relieve tension. Reset, restore, and recover your muscles so you can do it all again tomorrow.
Come check it out.
Join Planet Fitness today for just $1 down, $24.99 a month to access all new recovery amenities and keep your momentum going.
Sign up today. Deal ends July 8th.
Imagine a life-changing injury. Imagine the fear and unknown. The Houston Clinic Sports Medicine Team, the only physicians in the area with advanced certification in orthopedic sports medicine, treats sports injuries with innovative techniques. The Houston Clinic has helped nearly 1 million athletes live without pain. Imagine getting back in the game. Imagine the best game of your life. The Houston Clinic Sports Medicine Team.
Trevor Behringer, and John Goodman here with me on Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
Dang.
No, I love my boy Mike Frost here.
John Goodman from Flight.
Yes, listen. I can't take him anywhere, brother. Frosty and Thrift here on this late night here on Thursday, College Sprocket Studios. You never know what you're going to hear with Frosty and Thrift. Oh, man, but how you been, dude? How much fun was that 7-on-7, and what'd you learn, dude?
That was a blast, man. I actually learned a little bit because we watched Smith Station last year. You know Blair Harrison's offenses that come out every year. They're the wing tee, but you kind of saw a fact where if they have to throw the ball, they can.
Right.
I mean, to go against teams like Spencer, Harris County, Shaw, Columbus, Lochapoka, and Smith Station being the wing tee team that comes out on top in a 7-on-7.
Right.
Nobody would have expected that, but it was a nice thing to see. Also to see Lochapoka come out there and really put on a show for a 2A team out of Alabama. And then, that Shaw-Columbus game, that was probably the game of the day.
Yep.
Really just the intensity on that one, the kids, the trash talk, the going back and forth, the highlight plays. I mean, it was just a blast altogether. I got home yesterday and had a little bit of a sore throat from yelling on the broadcast, but I was having fun the whole time.
It was, and glad we got to see Harris County in the mix, and that game against Smith Station was a lot of fun. For teams like Harris County and Smith Station that are run-oriented, Columbus last year, this is an opportunity to see what they can do in passing down situations. But I asked Blair Harrison on Tuesday's show when we were live from Glenn Smith, and I'm like, Blair, what do you get out of a 7-on-7 when you're a run-heavy offense? And he says, well, I want to know what my team can do if we have to throw the ball. But more importantly, my defense is who they're going to be facing up against, a lot of teams that like to throw the ball in a 7-on-7 setting.
Oh, yeah.
So more for the defense than it was for his offense. And obviously I like Smith Station. I thought their defense was – I'm getting choked up. Blair, love you, man. I'm about to cry. Jesus, Blair, I know we were friends, but their defense was the one that stepped up big time. And honestly, I thought, Cohen was great, but what I saw from their defense is the reason I was really impressed yesterday.
Oh, yeah, that's one thing you really want to look at when it comes to the 7-on-7 drills. Yeah, the offense is where the highlights happen, but the defense is really what gets the work in during the summertime because you're already getting work because you're not getting really blocking. You're not having blitz packages done. It's mainly just mano-a-mano or zone coverage. So you want to make sure that the communication's there.
Right.
As far as your secondary goes, your safeties, your corners, your linebackers, everybody's on the same page. Gives them a chance to kind of get some work in before they get to fall camp. So to see Smith Station go out there, especially with teams that are going to play this year like Auburn, Central, teams that will throw the ball, like, say, Bobby Coleman and guys like that, if they end up playing Thompson or something at some point, maybe if they make the playoffs. I mean, you never know, but it gives them an opportunity to go get ready and kind of know what they need to do when they go against more pass-heavy offenses.
And by the way, that John Goodman comment, I just want to go back to – I'm giving you a compliment. Have you ever seen the movie Gambler, The Gambler with Mark Wahlberg in it? Mm-hmm. He's bad A in that, brother. I would not mess with you right now.
And so am I.
I'd give you your money if I owed you money, Mike. I promise you that. Mike Frost, Trip Behringer here, Georgia Alabama Sports Live. Glad we got to do that 7-on-7, Mike. And obviously, you're not learning too much. I'm not saying now Smith Station is going to go out and win a state championship. Yeah. And I'm not going to say Harris County or Columbus High is going to lose every game either. Mm-hmm. But I will tell you, Bobby Peters Jr., he's one of the guys that stood out to me. I liked his character and the way he carried himself, especially in that game. I think Peterson is going to step up big for Shaw. Started last year, kind of an up and down season for him. I expect big things for him and Johnny Gardner. There's a ton of athletes.
Oh, yeah.
That's one thing that Shaw does have this year is athletes. Can Johnny Gardner and staff put it together? And the thing we haven't talked about is, when we did Brookstone, Pacelli, and Calvert, we said about Brookstone, him, Braxton Wilkinson, but mainly Broughton Branch.
Yeah.
Statistically, he's probably the best returning quarterback in this area. But Elijah Fudge's not too far behind. And I like what I saw again.
Oh, yeah.
Man, the athletes are there for Spencer, so why would it be any different for Joe Kegler and them? Those are some things also that stood out for me, right?
Yeah, exactly. With Elijah Fudge, I mean, you got to give it to him. Yes, Lochapoka made it to that final against Smith Station, but they also won it by a point differential.
Right.
So all of them had the same record between them and Spencer. Spencer, you can say that L that they took against Lochapoka earlier in the day wasn't on Elijah Fudge.
Right.
He was slinging the pill, had some great throws out there, but it's just some of the receivers couldn't hold on to it. You didn't see many picks off of them, but you saw a couple of them hitting the chest, hitting all hands.
Right.
So that's going to be something that, Coach Kegel is really going to work on, getting the focus of these receivers, because Elijah Fudge will get the ball to you. There's no doubt about that. The kid can throw the rock. He can run. So I believe Spencer, just because, that wasn't really a pure showing yesterday. Like I said, it's all fundamentals and teaching at this point. So I believe Elijah Fudge is going to have a breakout season in the region this year.
All right, let's move on from 7-on-7, and we're going to talk those Muskogee County School District schools here in just a second. But what we're going to do is take a quick break, and we'll come right back after this.
Hello, everybody. This is DJ Jones with the Sports Visions Morning Show for the best in local, regional, and national sports news. Weekdays from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m.
You can find the Sports Visions Morning Show on Facebook, YouTube. Also, you can listen to us on Apple and Spotify by typing in the Sports Visions Morning Show, and download the Sports Visions radio app right now in your app store today.
Sports Vision 92.1. We are your hometown sports guys.
Hey everybody, hot summer prices have dropped at Glenn Smith GMC in Opelika. Drive home today in a brand new GMC Sierra 1500 with savings up to $15,000 and $750 off MSRP. Or get 0% financing for 60 months. Need more power? New GMC Sierra 2500 HD with savings up to $10,000 off MSRP. Or get 4.9% financing for 60 months. Glenn Smith GMC in Opelika. Get ready to smile.
To get your case started, do yourself a favor and visit us at MikeCostelloLawFirm.com. 24/7, nights and weekends, 365 days a year, and we only collect if you get paid.
A strong workout needs a strong recovery. And with your Planet Fitness Black Card, you get access to all new amenities like the Red Light Sauna and Polar Dry Plunge, both designed to reduce muscle soreness and relieve tension. Reset, restore, and recover your muscles so you can do it all again tomorrow.
Come check it out.
Join Planet Fitness today for just $1 down, $24.99 a month to access all new recovery amenities and keep your momentum going.
Sign up today. Deal ends July 8th.
All right, we're back here. Chrissy was trying to play a joke on me. No Waffle House for you. You're done. Georgia, Alabama. Chris. Georgia, Alabama Sports Live Show. Mike Frost at Behringer. All right, we said we're going to talk Muskogee County schools. We've been in depth with when we did Phil Jones with Carver. We talked about them a lot. Let's talk about some of the other schools.
Yeah.
I want to first start with the team last year that was on the potential of being a surprise team.
Yeah.
And I said between Kendrick and Columbus were my teams that could be surprises. Obviously, Columbus ended up being that team. Kendrick, not a bad year last year, led by Coach. Holy smokes! How did I forget Coach's name right now? Coach Mayo. I apologize, Coach Mayo. I should have known that already. They went 4-6 last year. I remember it started the season 2-0. Was it 3-2 at one point? Played Kendrick, got dominated by Kendrick, beat Jordan. They were 4-3. And the last 3 games of the season, they got beat by Carver, Shaw, and Columbus High. But I think their games are winnable on the schedule that I'm looking at right now. Remember, they play in the same region as Carver does next year.
That's a tough region.
It is with Worth and them. They start off with Miller. Then they got Hardaway. Could be it's a winnable game. At Calhoun, at Washington.
Yes, that's a
both
good one,
those are winnable games. At Randolph Clay, at Worth, at Carver, and then they come back with Jordan, at Chris, and then Sumter County. It's going to be a tough one.
Yeah.
I really want to see that momentum building from last year's team, but we'll see. What's your thoughts on the Kendrick Cherokees?
I see them making some improvement. They kind of laid the foundation last year, the way they want to run the offense with Perk out there as the coach, and then kind of get everything in line. But right now, one of the things, yes, they're in a tough region. I mean, you're in a region with defending 2-time state champion Carver, defending champion Worth County and Single Lake moving up. Crisp County, who's a perennial playoff team with Justin Newman heading the program out there. And then you've got Sumter County, who's a state semifinalist. So that's four of the 5 teams in your region are all used to being in the quarterfinals and further every year. But one of the things that's going to help Kendrick out this year is the amount of players that all 4 of those teams has lost due to graduation, due to transfers. So I see Kendrick can maybe squeeze it. If they can squeeze out, really out of the five-team region, if they squeeze 1 win out of those 4 games, they can make the playoffs.
All right, let's go from Kendrick to the team that was a surprise team last year, Columbus Blue Devils, 7-4, made the playoffs. They open up against Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
Then they are home against Westover, at Shaw, which is basically a home game, but they'll be wearing their whites that day. Daughtery, at Daughtery, then Bainbridge, at Hardaway, at Monroe, Cairo, and at Spencer. Columbus, obviously much tougher region than last year. With Bainbridge, Cairo, Monroe, Daughtery, that and Westover.
Yeah.
That's a gauntlet. And then you got a young quarterback. I do think Columbus could potentially maybe take a step back in terms of wins. I still think the momentum is growing with defining the culture, and this is Robert Peters doing an amazing job. But the schedule alone, it's going to be really tough after that game against Jordan.
Yeah, and you kind of lose that dual threat with Andrew Smith, the 4th last year. That was your dual threat quarterback, being able to be your offense on the ground and through the air. So it's really going to turn over to young Peters to be at the quarterback to run the helm. But I think that really Coach Bobby Peters is going to have to lean on that defense this year, especially with Gavin Brown at middle linebacker. We saw him yesterday morning. He's a 6'4", about 230-pound linebacker back there. Looks like a stud. We'll see if he can stay healthy this year. Got hurt during the Midtown Classic last year. Broke his ankle, wasn't able to finish the season. So it's going to come down to that defense, and it's really going to come down to being able to beat some of the teams that get you into that push. Because, I mean, like you said, Cairo, Westover. When you've got to play teams like Cairo and those teams out of Albany, as well as the ones that you have in Columbus in your region, it's going to be tough. We'll see what kind of coach. But Coach Peters is a good coach, and we'll see if he's got his boys ready come the fall.
A team that I had last year winning 7 or 8 games, the Shaw Raiders, tough season, did finish on a high note after starting 1-7 on the year. They were able to beat Kendrick and then Jordan to finish 3-7. They did play Spencer really tough, so if they would have beat Spencer, they would have made the playoffs. Columbus was a winnable game, so they were a couple plays away. Really from going 5-5 last year and making the playoffs. But let's talk about what region they're in, because again they joined Columbus with Bainbridge and Monroe. So Shaw opens up against Midtown in Atlanta. Then at Washington. That's also in Atlanta, so they'll be in Atlanta Midtown is a scrimmage game. They'll open up at Washington. Then they got Upson Lee at home, which should be a fun game on the 27th. That's actually a Thursday night game. Nice. Hey, Mike.
Hey.
You want to have fun?
Hey.
Let's go do some Upson Lee.
Thursday prime time.
At Bainbridge, Columbus, at Westover, Daughtery, at Cairo, at Spencer, and they wrap up with Hardaway and then Monroe. Shaw, it really depends on how they start their season. What's the growth of Peterson? And can the defense make the necessary plays? They shot themselves in the foot a lot last year with turnovers, penalties at inopportune times, derailing drives. How do you feel after seeing in 7-on-7? Do you think Shaw, especially now moving up a classification in a tough region, have an opportunity to make the playoffs this year?
Well, we talked about earlier, and we talked about, Shaw has the athletes. That's never been a question. They're going to have the athletes out there. It's going to come down to discipline. Like we brought up the penalties, the turnovers last year. That's what cost the Raiders. And with Coach Garner at the helm, I see him trying to work on. I believe from what we saw yesterday during the 7-on-7, a lot of intensity in those young men. They want to do well. They really back each other. So now it's going to come down to, do they have the discipline to be able to make those big plays and avoid the bad ones? Because that's what hurt them last year. If they were be able to negate some of those bad plays last year against Spencer, like you said, could have made the playoffs on what was starting out as a tough season with that opening loss to Smith Station. So I believe Coach Garner, of course, he's got some coaching legends behind his, that's got his back, that he'll be able to get a little bit of help from, some tutelage to kind of keep building that program at Shaw. So we'll see what happens this year. But I believe they do have the potential to make the playoffs, even in that tough region.
And unfortunately, in that region, Mike, there's a chance that not any of the Columbus schools, because there's 9 teams and only 4 make the playoffs, could get in.
Yeah.
Think about this. Bainbridge, Cairo, really good teams. Daughtery's been a team that's made the playoffs perennially. Monroe and Westover.
Yeah.
That's 5 teams outside. And then you got the 4, Columbus, Hardaway, Shaw, and Spencer. It's going to be tough sledding for our Columbus schools. I think there's an opportunity, and that will be our next team, Spencer.
Mm-hmm.
I really would have liked them to be in that region with Carver, but I understand why they moved up.
Yeah.
In terms of population, Spencer's a growing school. But Elijah Fudge at least gives them an opportunity to be successful this year. Are they going to be able to run the football? Can their defense make some necessary stops? I know C.J. Starr is now with the Pacelli Vikings, so we'll see what happens with Spencer. I like Joseph Kegler. They've made the playoffs the last 4 years.
Yeah.
But again, tough region, man.
Oh, yeah.
And there is a scenario where none of these teams make the playoffs.
Yeah. And that's one of the things with Coach Kegler right now over there at Spencer. They don't, as far as what we saw yesterday, it wasn't a whole lot of size. We didn't see the line, of course, because like we said, it's 7-on-7. So you don't see a lineman out there. So we don't really know what the size is of the team as a whole. But as far as the skill players go, now it's going to come down to, can Coach Kegler kind of teach these kids that speed kills? Because they've got speed, they've got quickness. Now it's just going to be using that elusiveness, being able to hold on to the passes from Elijah Fudge and kind of just keep, because they run that spread. Elijah Fudge will toss it around, will kind of dole it out, be the point guard for the offense. So can they be able to hold on to the ball and get – it's going to take maybe a few upsets because like Westover, you've got Jamie DuBose, now the head coach at Bainbridge out there. It's going to be a big deal to be able to go down there and beat them. But Westover's a perennial playoff team. Daugherty's perennial playoff team. Cairo's always in the mix. So can Spencer or any of these other teams be able to kind of get maybe an upset on the road somewhere to be able to get into that playoff push and maybe get some more Columbus teams into the playoffs this year?
Let's go back as we finished with those teams. We'll get to Hardaway, but I want to go back real quickly to Carver, Jordan, and Kendrick's region. Jordan, remember playing independent schedule, so they won't make the playoffs this year, even though they're in that region for other sports. But Carver, Crisp, Kendrick, Sumter, and Worth, those are the teams in there. So, I mean, unfortunately, it may look like Kendrick could be the odd man out.
Yeah.
Chris is going to be really good next year, and then Worth and Sumter both one of the top teams within the classification. I don't expect anything different than Carver. So it looks like that could be tough. So I'm cheering for Coach Mayo, but uphill sledding. So next year, we could only have one Muskogee County school make the playoffs. And I hope that doesn't happen. And I do think Shaw, Spencer on that threshold in their region, a little bit more than Hardaway and Columbus. Hardaway, and we'll go with them. Coach Wedner taking over for Will Weldon last year. Went 1-9. Their only win was against Jordan. Let's talk about their schedule. They open up against Randolph Clay. Then they got at Kendrick, at Cairo, Spencer, at Monroe, Columbus, Westover, at Shaw, and then Daugherty. I do think there's some winnable games on there for Hardaway. Really don't know who they got, so we'll figure that out roster-wise. And we didn't get to see them in the 7-on-7. What's your thoughts on the Hardaway as Coach Wedner takes over this year?
Well, it's going to be a thing of building right now. So, Coach Wedner, I don't expect them to have a big win-loss record this year. I really don't expect to play out, but I expect to see competitiveness. I expect to see the culture start to build out there. He's got to start a program out. So he's going to be building his year one. They had a bad year last year at 1-9, so you can't expect a 6-4, 7-3 season this year.
Right.
So it's going to come down to, can they win those games early on? Randolph Clay, usually a pretty winnable ball game, but we don't know what the Red Devils are going to look like down there. I mean, the school that Thomas Davis graduated from, the Hall of Famer, I played against him in high school when he was at Randolph Clay. So, yeah, he played everywhere, man. He was all over the field, yes. But, I mean, that's going to come down to, can Hardaway get those wins during the non-region schedule, kind of push themselves forward? Because like you talked about Kendrick earlier, being one of 5 teams in that region, I keep forgetting myself that the fact that they're going all power rankings next year, every classification.
Oh, that's another good point.
Yeah, so
it's not the 4 teams, so really no team has an opportunity to make it. Or a bunch of them could, right?
So
that's
like
a great point, Mike.
If Kendrick sweeps that first part of their schedule, the non-region, I mean, that's 6 games right there that they can end up starting 6-0 before they go into region play.
Right.
That's really going to bump them up in those rankings. And if they're able to play tight games or maybe get an upset, Kendrick could slide into the playoffs.
Right.
So, I mean, it could be one of those things where it'd be all 5 teams in that region make the playoffs because it's a really tough region.
Finally, North Side. Talking about tough. 6A classification.
That's I don't even know if that'll classify as a gauntlet. That's something that's Dante's Inferno. That's what that schedule is.
At Daugherty, at SARS Mill, Lovejoy, at Langston Hughes, Woodward Academy. I think the biggest private school in the state of Georgia.
Yeah,
one of the
Eagles.
biggest. Morrow, at Creekside. Yeah, they're never good at football.
Defending state champ, undefeated.
Tri-Cities, at McIntosh, and then at Noonan. They are in their region. The teams are going to be facing up against Creekside, Langston Hughes, Lovejoy, McIntosh, Morrow, Noonan, Northside, Tri-Cities, and Woodward. Now, remember, Woodward technically is going to be playing with the private schools. Or no, I'm maybe mistaken. They stay in there with 6A. So, looking at their region, 9 teams. 9.
Yeah.
Mike, are in that region.
And they're almost all of them. I believe Tri-Cities and maybe Morrow were the 2 that aren't really the perennial playoff teams.
Right.
But the other 6 in that region that Northside have to face are all perennial playoff teams.
And what sucks, man, is
it's the travel too.
It is the travel. It's that Travis Wakefield. There is some talent on Northside's team.
There is.
Last year, they got a big win over Shaw. I think me and you were there for that, if I'm not mistaken, Mike. And they won that 31-8. And I'm like, all right, maybe Northside could be decent this year. They got blown out by Northgate. Played Monroe tough. Played Carver tough, to be honest with you. Lost 31-12. Then had the game of the year against Harris County, which they could have won. Then they beat Mondays Mill, got dominated by Griffin, only lost to Stars Mill by 7. Stars Mill obviously a little bit down last year.
Yeah.
Dominated by Jonesboro, and then put up 33 points on Central of Carroll. Again, a competitive bunch last year, but they got a new coach. Coach Orpeza is now gone, and he is now the offensive coordinator in Harris County. So we'll see what Northside has, but just no favors given moving up in that classification, and it's going to be a tough one for Northside this year to get acclimated in.
Yeah, and I believe especially moving up, I mean, you're not just moving up a classification if you're Northside. You're moving up 2. So now you're going to 6A. You're playing in probably one of the toughest regions in the entire state of Georgia, honestly. So I believe if I'm coach, it's my first year out there at Northside. A 3-7 season to me is a win. You know, you go out there, you're building that foundation. You're playing these great teams. These kids are getting an idea of what it's like to play these top teams in the state of Georgia, what it's going to take to become a top team in the state of Georgia, what kind of work gets put in. Because when you're going to play Creekside, you're going to play Woodward Academy, teams like that, like you're going to have to bring your A game. And really just it's going to be a teaching moment this whole entire season for Northside. Like I said, 3 wins would probably be their ceiling right now. And if I got 3 wins with that schedule right there, I'd be happy as a first-year coach.
I'm laughing because Colin put up his chair going like this already down, and literally right after he said he's been in the gym boxing and rumble. It was a beautiful moment. Love my boy Colin. But yeah, it's gonna be a tough year for Northside.
Yes.
But football's in the air. You can smell it. It felt really cool being in the Impact Center.
It did.
That's another thing. Brian Easton did an amazing job. Thank you for hosting it. Incredible, a lot of fun. Weather could not be any better because it started getting hot, and we were in that air-conditioned Impact Center with the fans going.
Just crazy how it's like open air, but it doesn't feel like you're outside at all when you're in there.
Absolutely beautiful. And glad that we were able to be there for that, and can't wait for this upcoming football season to start, man.
Man, I'm ready. What do we got, about a month and a half, 2 months to go?
Yeah, a little bit.
And it all kicks in. I'm just ready to smell. I mean, I want to say I'm ready to smell that freshly cut grass, but everybody's converting to turf, and, you know, I'm an old head. I like that grass smell when you go out there. I mean, we could get a little bit of help down there at Memorial, quit making it look like a cow pasture.
Right.
But Connett, Otis Spencer, you got the turf out there, but still, I mean, it's just the atmosphere alone and the way this community comes out for these young men, the way everybody comes out there, the parents, the alumni, the cousins, the brothers, the sisters, everybody. I mean, it lights up the entire stadium, and it makes our job a whole lot easier when the atmosphere is there and the environment's up, and it makes us get a little bit louder, a little bit more intense, and it makes it more fun to watch these kids go out there and just play their hardest.
Mike, we'll have Harris County we'll talk about next time we do this show, and we'll also dive into some Troop, some Callaway, some LaGrange.
Oh, yeah.
Heck, even Central, too. So we still got several more schools, and even Chatco. We're going to wrap it up here with our early preview coverage, because I promise you we're going to have the ultimate preview show. It's going to be a round table. We're going to have a bunch of people on. Everybody's going to give their opinions or predictions. I'm going to tell Mike he's wrong, and I'm going to say Chris Go ahead and put the camera on me right now and zoom in. Right now, Chris. Chris, hurry. There you go. And I'm going to look right in the camera. And Mike's going to tell me over and over again, I'm telling you, this is what's going to happen. I'm going to say, Mike, be quiet. You don't want to make an enemy out of me. I'm going to go full Stephen A.
And if he gets...
If I start getting low voice, you know how excited I get, and I start doing this.
Don't get too close because you might get kissed on the lips right in the middle of it.
Yeah, I promise you, you don't want to make an enemy out of me. We're having too much fun here. It's getting late. Thank y'all so much for watching. We appreciate the love and support as always. Tomorrow, we had yesterday sitting with Athletic Director, say the program, Tim Fanning.
Yes.
4 state championships in a row. 12 in his tenure there at Glenwood. Yes. That is now over 24 or 25 now for the Gators total in the program. Incredible run. Every single sport they were competitive and made the playoffs. And year 3 now. Can you believe it? In the AHSA. So go back and watch that. I got Kendall Mills dropping tomorrow. We got more of those coming up. And then for the rest of the week, where are we going to be at tomorrow? Well, we are going to be live from the Adult League at Shirley B. Winston Park. Going to see some basketball games there. On Saturday, we'll be live from Isaiah Crowell at Otis Spencer Football Camp. Should be fun with that, Mike. We got Saturday night, Columbus Lions. Pastor Troy and them East Side Boys. No, it is not. It is not going to be Little John, but Pastor Troy is going to be there.
It's DSTP, baby.
It's going to be fun. So cannot wait. And Mike, thank you, brother.
Oh yeah.
We're not going to leave though. We're going to wrap up the show with Kevin Eckleberry and Richard Holdridge. If you want to hear a bunch of random facts, you got it coming up. The Alabama Sports Live Show.
Hey everybody, hot summer prices have dropped at Glenn Smith GMC in Opelika. Drive home today in a brand new GMC Sierra 1500 with savings up to $15,000 and $750 off MSRP. Or get 0% financing for 60 months. Need more power? New GMC Sierra 2500 HD with savings up to $10,000 off MSRP. Or get 4.9% financing for 60 months. Glenn Smith GMC in Opelika. Get ready to smile.
And welcome back to the Georgia Alabama Sports Live Show. And on the show now, very special guest. I've known this guy for a very long time. And he covers everything Troup County athletics and beyond up in the Troup County area. Please welcome to the Georgia Alabama Sports Live Show, my good friend, Kevin Eckleberry.
Hey, what's going on, Richard? I appreciate you having me on, man.
Well, this is the first time on Georgia Alabama Sports Live, so let the audience know your background. Where did you come from? How long you've been doing covering sports writing, content creating? Just the floor is yours. Give the whole story on the origins of Kevin Eckleberry.
I've been doing it pretty dang long time now. It's kind of funny. I'm like you. You look back on the years and you kind of wonder, where the heck did that time go? It passes so quickly, but anyway, I grew up in Brunswick, Georgia, down around Jekyll and St. Simons. In fact, we just got back from a little family trip yesterday, kind of combining family time with some beach time on St. Simon. So grew up there, went to Georgia Southern University, go Eagles, and then majored in journalism. And then just about 1993, just kind of began my professional journey. Started out in Dalton, Georgia at the Daily Citizen, the newspaper there, then went down to Albany, kind of to work with a weekly newspaper down there. And then Rome, Georgia, I was there for a couple years as a sports writer. I love working in Rome, by the way. That's a fantastic city, just a really great place. And then Cartersville, Georgia, where I was the sports editor there for about 4 or 5 years. And then came here to LaGrange in 2002 to become the sports editor at the newspaper there. And that was a really great time to come to LaGrange, too, by the way, because the LaGrange football team was kind of right in the middle of that incredible run where they won a state championship in 01 and then won championships in 03 and 04 as well. So what a great time that was to be to come to LaGrange. And then I did that for about 20 years. And then a few years ago, got a new opportunity to work with April Ross, who bought the TV station here in LaGrange. And she asked me, hey, would you like to be our sports director? And I was like, well, I'm a writer by trade, so I'll have to kind of learn on the fly. But she said, yeah, we really want you to come do this. So for the past about 3 years, I've been the sports director for BTV, which is the television station in LaGrange. And we also cover, Chambers County schools, Heard County, basically the surrounding area. So I guess the bottom line, for more than 30 years now, I've been covering high school sports in Georgia, and I've pretty much covered the state and been here in LaGrange now for almost 25 years, and I absolutely love doing it in whatever capacity, whether I'm writing or doing video stuff. Just kind of telling the stories of the student athletes and the coaches that I've been so fortunate to work with over the years. I'm sure you're the same way, just you get to know these people so well. And one of the things you learn early on is, hey, you're supposed to kind of be non-biased, don't root. I've kind of thrown that out the window a long time ago because I pull for the teams I cover, and I unabashedly a fan of all of our local teams. Because again, it comes down to, you get to know these people so well, and the coaches who, my gosh, the work they do is just, I don't think they get enough appreciation for the effort they put in, and it really is a year-round commitment for them. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's kind of the condensed version, and I've been incredibly fortunate to be able to do this for so long. Also, a big shout out to my wife, Julie, who she's a CPA and accountant here in town, and is what I do is not it's not the highest paying job in the world. So with her support, I've been able to continue to do it, and hopefully will for a long time to come, Richard.
Yeah, Kevin, that's an amazing story. We know how special LaGrange is. I had the privilege of working up there for 6 years. And being up there, I realized how special these sports teams were, whether it's Callaway winning a state title in football in 2020, Troup County winning a baseball championship in 2025. We've seen the LaGrange Grangers make a huge run in baseball in 2022 and 2023. Just talk about what makes the Troup County area so special and so passionate. The fan bases there, whether you're from Callaway, Troup County, LaGrange, they are passionate about their sports, and these sporting events are always packed out, especially when these teams play each other. Just talk about the fan base in general in LaGrange and how passionate they are.
Yeah, there's a lot of history here for sure. It's kind of funny. Last week I was doing an interview with one of our, it's like an hour-long interview show that we do for the TV station. And the person I was talking to, his name is James Scoop Harrison. A lot of people here will know him, a former basketball player, still a basketball player. He's almost 50 and he's still getting out there. And we were kind of talking about, even before the current three schools, you go back and we had Hogansville High School here, West Point High School. So to me, it's just the history of sports in this community. It literally goes back, more than 100 years, and just the support. To me, a big part of it is the support that the schools receive, and that a lot of that comes from the community being willing to to fund facilities here. I'm sure you've seen that LaGrange and Troup and now Callaway, they all have these fantastic indoor practice facilities. And
no
what a
question.
luxury that is to have 3 high schools here, and all 3 of them have state-of-the-art indoor practice facilities. So the student athletes here, they receive the support they receive. They get the support they need from the community. The coaches always, if they ask for something, they'll get it, from the schools and from the school system here. So they receive, getting the support you need financially and otherwise is so big. And again, I've talked about the coaches. To me, that's kind of where it starts as well. You just look football wise, how blessed we are here in Troup County to have 3 people like Pete Wiggins at Callaway, and of course Tanner Glisson at Troup, and Matt Napier at LaGrange High School. To have 3 men like that leading these football programs is just so huge, and it starts with them, and it's across the board. And baseball here in Troup County is really amazing. And again, that's Dusty Hubbard at Callaway, Donnie Branch, Hall of Fame coach at LaGrange, and again, Tanner Glisson, who coaches football and baseball at Troup, and what an incredible job he has done. So to me, it's the coaches and the student athletes themselves, when they, well before they even get to high school, they're aware of the traditions each of these schools have. So they take a lot of pride in representing those schools. I know when I talk to LaGrange players, they talk about what it means to them to wear that star on the side of their helmet, because they grew up going to games at Callaway Stadium. A lot of them, they watched those teams in the 2000s win state championships, and it's the same at Callaway. Their quarterback who just graduated, Blake Harrington, who had a great football career, he's talked to me about growing up, going to games at Callaway Stadium, going to practices, and what that meant to him to be a Callaway football player. And it's the same over at Troup. A lot of their players come from West Point, and they remember those great teams and great athletes they've had before. They remember coming out to the stadium watching Reuben Foster bust heads there at the stadium. So
no doubt,
it's like that across the sports spectrum. They want to do well, not just for themselves, but for their teammates and for their school and for their community. So there's a lot of community pride here, and I just think that leads to coaches and student athletes wanting to do their absolute best. And again, that doesn't matter what sport they're playing. So that sense of pride, and there's a lot of great athletes here too. And I also have to give a big shout out to the youth programs here in Troup County as well. Baseball, football, basketball. The community coaches do a tremendous job here as well. And they also, when I talk to them, they want to win games, but they also realize they're helping prepare, these young athletes for down the road, for when they play in middle school and high school. So it all really just works together, and you add it all up, and that's how you end up with 3 schools with tremendous all around sports programs. I know everybody knows football, but each one of these schools have really excelled across the sports spectrum. LaGrange High School, they won state championships in boys and girls tennis and golf this spring.
Oh yeah.
So which is just tremendous. So again, it's just it all just works together, and as a sports writer or a sports director now, I'm really blessed that I've been able to be a part of that for almost 25 years now.
Yeah, no question about it. And we appreciate your coverage as it continues to grow. I love how you're having pregame shows before big football games at Callaway Stadium. And we've even had you on the high school game day when we were doing the Troup County football games up there. And as Georgia Alabama Sports Live continues to expand, we love this partnership where we can have you come on and talk not just Troup County, but also Chambers County, because they're doing big things up in Lynette. The Lynette football team making it to the state championship. We've seen the success from Valley and their basketball team. But I do want to talk about Callaway Stadium, because I did see a news article stating that the Troup County school system is going to own like 50% of Callaway Stadium. Now, it's owned by the city because it's also the home to LaGrange College. which is another fascinating story too. And that's another school that you cover. Talk about what that means that the Troup County School Systems is going to take ownership of Callaway Stadium, at least part ownership.
Yeah, I don't think it shouldn't really affect the operations at all because Troup County Parks and Rec, they've always kind of overseen maintenance and they run the stadium basically. So it really should not make any difference as far as the operations of the stadium go. I know they always have one person who's kind of been tasked with overseeing the stadium. That's kind of his job, and that'll continue. So really shouldn't be any change. And LaGrange College, of course, they've just always kind of paid for the right to use that stadium, and it works out well for LaGrange College because they've got a stadium literally right across from their campus, which is really cool. So I don't anticipate anything really changing with the stadium, and I love that place, by the way. That stadium's more than 50 years old now, and obviously they've done a lot of work to it over the years. They put in the artificial turf. I believe 2005 was the first year for that, and a couple years ago they put in new turf, replace the old turf. I think you have to do that every 15 years or so. So it's a fantastic stadium. Of course, they play football there and other sports as well. Soccer, lacrosse will come over and play there sometimes. So it's a great setting. It really is. I've always said there's no place I'd rather be on a Friday night than at Callaway Stadium. Just you get a big game there. You have the lights. The stands are full. So it's an incredible venue, and I think I'm biased, obviously, but I think it's one of the more fun places to watch a game in the state of Georgia. Off topic a little bit, I've always thought, man, wouldn't it be cool someday to like write a book about high school football stadiums in Georgia? Because I've been to a bunch of them, and there are some just incredible venues in the state, just around here in our community. Obviously, Callaway Stadium, Heard County is a great place. Carrollton, Noonan, Drake Stadium. So that's part of what makes high school football, obviously, is those historic, incredible venues, and Callaway Stadium is certainly one of them.
Kevin, you are absolutely right. We are 2 months away from high school football. New classification. LaGrange and Troup County are going to no longer be region rivals, which means that annual LaGrange Troup County game is going to be moved up on the calendar, August 28th. And then Callaway's in a new region, by the way, with some of the Macon teams like West Side and Northeast and Southwest. And so with our partnership with Middle Georgia Sports Live, we might end up getting some Callaway on that platform. Just talk about how busy you are during football season, because you also cover volleyball and softball, and you also cover LaGrange College. So you might be at Callaway Stadium on Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday afternoon, and then Saturday night for LaGrange College, because we did have a Troup County game against Mary Persons in the afternoon because LaGrange College had a game later that night.
Yeah, there's no doubt. They also play middle school football over there at the stadium sometimes.
Yeah,
so, Long Cane and Gardner Newman could be playing on a Wednesday night. And then you have Thursday games. And that is when you have three high schools sharing one stadium. Obviously, so you have to be a little creative. Of course, all high school teams, they much prefer, if you talk to any high school coach, they'll always say, I'd rather play Thursday or Friday, not so much Saturday. Sometimes you just don't really have a choice. But yeah, it's a busy time. You mentioned we do our pregame shows, a lot of them at Callaway Stadium. We also try to move around a little bit. We'll go over and do them at Lynette or Valley or Lafayette High School over there, or obviously Callaway Stadium. So it is a busy time. So, and we're actually this year we're going to be starting like a Saturday morning show at the TV station where we provide highlights and some coaches interviews and that kind of thing. So it's going to be really, really interesting this year. You mentioned we're 2 months away, actually on August 7th, I think it is. Callaway and Troup are playing a preseason game.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah. So that's coming right up. And it's always funny when it was in the spring, Callaway and LaGrange played.
That's
and
right.
it's not a real game, but don't tell the players and coaches that, because they absolutely will treat this as a real game. And then a couple weeks after that, we jump right into it, and it will be a little different not having LaGrange and Troop in the same region. It's happened before, pretty often actually. This past cycle, they were in the same region, but I'm glad they're still playing. I'd like to think there was never any option that they would not play, but you never know. So they will be playing early in the season, I believe the second week, like you said, and they're both going to be really good this year as well, which makes that matchup and that much bigger. And of course, now with the power rankings or the postseason rankings, as they call them here, that game will take on the significance as well, because it'll help you win. If you get that win, it'll really help you down the road when they seed for the state playoffs.
Yeah, and now Troup County's in 4A, LaGrange is in 5A,
right,
which means they're in the same region with Harris County. So they don't play often, but now we could see a rivalry between LaGrange and Harris County. I know you're looking forward to that, Kevin, and I tell you, I cannot wait for high school football season to get here. Talk a little bit about media days. This is something that it was started at BTV. Just talk about like what goes into media days and how many teams are invited.
Yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. We've done that the past 2 years, and we're still trying to kind of firm up the dates to do it this year. Basically, it's the teams here in Troup County, Callaway, LaGrange, and Troup, and we also had Heard County come out our first year. And you see that in different communities and counties, and it's just kind of a way to spotlight those programs, and we'll have the head coach for each team will come out, and they'll bring like 3, 4, or 5 of their players, and we'll just talk to them and talk to the players about the season. And it's a really neat thing. And again, it's just a way to spotlight football in the community, and it's a fun way to kind of kick off a new season. And we really enjoy doing that. I really enjoy doing it because I talked about the football coaches in this community, and I've gotten to know them so well over the years, and I like to think they're friends of mine, and just outstanding people, and obviously great coaches as well. Kind of a neat tidbit for you here. Coach Pete Wiggins at Callaway, he comes into this season with 195 wins.
Oh,
so
wow.
Obviously he's going to get 200 wins this season. Hopefully that'll be at Holmes. That'd be really cool to be at the stadium when that happens. So that's a lot of fun. We'll make sure here, hopefully within the next couple of days, we'll let everybody know what date that's going to be exactly, and that'll lead right into the season. And you mentioned obviously during the fall, and y'all do such a great job of covering other sports besides football as well. You got volleyball here as a fall sport, softball, fast pitch softball, which I've really become a big fan of over the years. I really enjoy fast pitch softball, cross country, competitive cheerleading, which is a really fun sport as well. And if you've ever been to one of their events, it's pretty incredible, what they do. And let's see, we cover middle school sports as well, recreation football, which is really big in town here as well. So we're looking forward to the media day, and I appreciate you giving a plug for that.
Oh yeah, no question about it. And that we definitely would love to be there. I know that once we got a date, definitely would love to be a part of it. Kevin, thank you so much for being on the Georgia Alabama Sports Live Show. Looking forward to this partnership. Looking forward to interviewing you again, especially when football season starts. And I know that we're 2 months away, and I know we can't wait for it to get here. And I know that it's fun and exciting, and I know you can't wait either.
I can't wait. And I really want to give a shout out to you guys as well. Incredible what y'all have done, and it's been really cool to see you guys grow and expand. And I know the people in the community really appreciate that, and I love the live sports covers that y'all do is just really awesome. And hopefully y'all will be able to come to Callaway Stadium for a game or two this season. I know the people here in Troup County would love to have y'all.
Yeah, no question about it. Kevin Eckelberry, everybody. He is from BTV Sports. We're going to go ahead and take a break. When we come